If you're new to this channel, this is Sam the Anthro. I'm Sam and I do the anthroing. And today's video is a little different. This is actually a little Q&A video to thank all of my lovely subscribers for getting me over 200 subs. And originally this was going to be a live stream Q&A, but unfortunately the Wi-Fi in my apartment is not capable of handling a live stream. So I felt bad that I couldn't come through the live stream. The live stream didn't happen. I wanted to still make it possible for everyone to get their questions answered. So here I am, answering your questions on a recording. So I got a lot of basic who, what, where, when, and why questions concerning me. I figured I'd just get those out of the way in a lightning round. Name, Samantha. Sam, as in Sam the Anthro. People ask me all the time, is Samantha okay, or would you prefer Sam? Either or works. Next, age. I am currently 27 years old. 1995, baby. Where are you from, and where do you currently live? Getting a little creepy on me, guys. But I am originally from South Texas, currently living in Rhode Island. Did you major in anthropology? Yes. Thanks for asking so I can flex a little bit. My undergraduate degree, my bachelor's, is in anthropology and French. I did a double major. My master's degree is in cultural anthropology. Now that we've gone over all those quick draw replies, we can get through the more detailed questions. The next question is, what got you into anthropology? So I feel like I've told this joke on the channel before, but an old professor of mine had a joke that academics always pick a field that they kind of struggle with in their personal life. Just like how every psychologist has something a little bit wrong with them, every anthropologist is a little bit of a weirdo. You kind of go for the discipline that you struggle with in your day-to-day life. I was always kind of a weird kid, really nerdy, loved reading books about far-off places and distant cultures. You know, the kind of thing you do when you don't have many friends and you're stuck in South Texas for the first 18 years of your life. The first thing that really put anthropology on my radar, though, was I was around 14 years old and I had a bunch of adults in my life who were telling me, hey, you're 14, you need to start thinking about what you're gonna go to college for in a couple of years. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I'd always excelled in school, but excelling in school doesn't automatically transfer to a successful career. The advice that I got from a lot of adults was just think of something that you find interesting or exciting and start Googling jobs that pertain to subject you find interesting or exciting. And so one day on a whim, I thought about how I liked learning about different peoples, different cultures, and I just Googled jobs that deal with culture. And of course, when I Googled that, anthropology showed up. A tale is old as time, song is old as rhyme. Googling to find your destiny. Next question is, what's one talent you have that you haven't shown on the channel? I'm kind of a jack of all trades kind of person. I don't really have a talent per se, as I do have 20 different hobbies that I'm constantly ping-ponging between. When it comes to things that I do a lot that I haven't shown on this channel, the first thing that's coming to mind is I do quite a bit of cross-stitching. I find the practice of just needle and thread back and forth, there's something about it that just massages my brain. It just gets so quiet up here, which might seem like a weird thing to want in your hobbies, but if you knew how loud it is in my brain 24/7 and how difficult it is for me to stop thinking, you would understand why I value not having to think for an hour. Next question is, what is your favorite video you've made? That's a tough one, but it's probably a tie between why are people afraid of masks and one of my more recent videos, the unending search for authenticity. I really love the outside recording. I think being able to be outside adds a lot to the videos, even if it is a pain to do. The arguments I make in both of those videos are great. The video, Why Do People Hate Masks, is actually pretty special to me because I took a lot of creative risks with that video, in a similar vein with the unending search for authenticity. There was a lot in that video that I was questioning myself the whole time if this was the right choice, and I was kind of scared how it was going to turn out. But again, I think it's one of my strongest videos. And the next question is there a video I regret making? Regret is a strong word. I probably wouldn't say there's any I regret making. There's probably some that, looking back, I think, oh, I probably would do that differently today, or I should have rephrased this, or I could have added more references to make my argument stronger. If there were any videos that I would tell you not to watch, it would probably be anything that I made before 2020. Those videos just have such a different vibe than what I'm going for nowadays. I've even seriously considered just removing them from the channel altogether, because back then I really thought I was gonna be a vlogger or maybe a storytime girly, and that's definitely not the vibe that I'm going for these days. I think I've kept them up partly out of nostalgia and partly because, as someone who makes videos, I'm always really fascinated with the direction that other video makers go through with their videos. But if you are new to this channel and you, like me, want to start from the very beginning and then go to the newer stuff, I would say just start in 2020. You don't need to watch anything before that. This leads me to the next question, which is, I'm new to your channel. What video do you recommend I start with? Which, if you're watching this video, this is already the video that you're starting with. But if you want to watch another video after this video, if me being pedantic didn't scare you off, there are 3 that I really recommend as sort of primers, especially if you're really new to anthropology as a discipline. And those 3 would be, is anecdotal evidence useless? How do we write about culture? And you're not objective. Those are the 3 really where I really talk about the basics of things like cultural relativism, ethnography, how anthropologists do their research, that sort of thing. However, if you're not brand new to the discipline, or you don't want something that is a bit more foundational, you can kind of just start wherever. I highly recommend The Unending Search for Authenticity because I think it's the best video that I've made so far, but feel free to click on a random video. For this question, it's me, Pikachu, and I want to know, should I go to grad school? Is this cringe? Am I doing cringe? That is a great question, Pikachu. If you're asking me this question, I'm assuming it's because you want to go to anthropology grad school like I did, and I really don't know if I'm the best person to give people advice on this. I basically did everything my professors told me not to do. They told me, don't go to grad school right after you finish your bachelor's, give it a year or 2 to do something else. I didn't. I went straight to grad school. They told me don't go to grad school without some sort of exit strategy or idea of what kind of career you want to go into that justifies getting a master's degree. I didn't do that, or I thought I did that. I thought I wanted to be a professor. What I didn't know before I went to grad school is trying to be a professor is essentially a pipe dream at this point. You're essentially waiting for someone to die. So yeah, I really didn't have a better exit strategy than I'm gonna be a professor. And I probably should have. Now, if you're asking if I personally enjoyed grad school, if I personally found it fulfilling, worth my time, worth the thousands of dollars of debts that I will be in for the next at least a decade, then yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really found it fulfilling. I wish it had been cheaper, but if I had to do it again, I would do it over again. What should I study in grad school? Again, top tier person to ask this question. You should study whatever interests you, whatever excites you. Grad school is really difficult in a lot of ways that undergrad is not, that you will not realize until you reach grad school. So my best advice is, if you are going to go to grad school, find something that you love voraciously. Because whatever it is, you are going to be spending the next 2 to 5 years, depending on your program, if you're in a PhD. If you're in a PhD, it could be longer than 5 years. But you are going to be spending the next X amount of years dedicating all your time, all your energy, all your money to whatever you choose to study. So if you are going to grad school, it needs to be something that you can spend every waking moment of your life doing. Another question, if you weren't an anthropologist, what would you study instead? I'd probably still be somewhere in the humanities. My brain is kind of wired for these types of subjects, but it might be something more like history, oral history, maybe gender and sexuality studies, women's studies, something like that. I still kind of imagine myself going back and doing more school at some point. First, I have to pay off all of the debts that I've currently acquired, but, you know, maybe Joey B will come through for us and we'll get that free college and I can go back and do my gender and sexuality PhD. I also had someone ask for some book recommendations, which admittedly is kind of hard for me to do because anthropology is such a broad subject that it's really difficult for me to just say, these are the anthropology books you should read. If you are totally new to the discipline and looking for some good places to start, I recommend Think Like an Anthropologist by Matthew Engelk, which kind of goes over the mindset that anthropology uses as his framework. Anything by David Graeber is wonderful. He's an amazing writer. Probably won't like this answer, but if you can get your hand on any kind of anthropology textbook, I know textbooks have this reputation for being very dry, very boring, but they exist to teach people the discipline, and they're usually a great primer if you're just learning about the subject. A little bit more of a casual question. Someone asked me what hair and makeup products I use. I'm flattered that you would ask that in the first place. I don't think of myself as someone who is good at hair and makeup, but I will be happy to answer your question. For my hair, I typically dye it with this product that I'm not totally certain how to pronounce the name. It's called Iro Iro. I usually go for like a purpley pink. Sometimes it comes out more pink, sometimes it comes out more purple. And I do that by taking a hot pink and a purple and sort of mixing them together until it's like this dark magenta-y color. Right now I have Arctic Fox on my head. I don't know if I'm gonna use Arctic Fox again. It just has faded so quickly, I can't really recommend it. For my eyeshadow, it's typically ColourPop. For my eyeliner, it's just basic dollar store eyeliner. I don't go really expensive with eyeliner. And lipstick, I usually use one of these Maybelline matte lipsticks. They come in all kinds of colors. I really like this purple. I used to be a lipstick girly. It applies like a lip gloss. You know, you just throw it in, and then if you give it a couple of seconds, it dries flat like a lipstick, and it stays on all day. It is like painted on my face. I usually have to scrub with makeup remover to get it off at the end of the day. I also got some other questions basically saying, when is the next video coming out? When can we see your next video? What's the next video about? And I appreciate all the enthusiasm, I really do. At the moment, I'm working a 40-hour-a-week job, and I don't have anyone who helps me. I do the writing, the recording, the editing, all by myself. So because of that, sometimes it's hard to find time in my day to be able to do this. That said, the next video is written. I am ready to record. I'm probably gonna record tomorrow, hopefully get it edited and put out. If all goes according to plan, which is famous last words on this channel, it should be out about a week after this video is posted. And some people asked, what is the next video about? I'm a little nervous to say, but basically I'm doing a Scenes from Hope video. If you're not familiar with that series, I'm gonna put the playlist of it down below. But yeah, That's all I'm gonna give you. Thank you to everyone for watching so far. I really appreciate all of your support. And if your question didn't get answered or you have more questions that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to leave those in the comments below. If you want to see more of me, I'm semi-active on other social media accounts, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr, and all of those are under the same name, SamTheAnthro. I also have a Patreon that needs to be revamped. I need to dust off my Patreon a bit, but if you want to support my Patreon, I'm not going to say no to that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all soon.